When we come back, we won't be enjoying a meal, but a chat long distance with the Maven. It's the Devils and Boston Bruins, Game 3 of this opening round playoff series. Welcome back to Devils Game Night, everyone. I'm Matt Lachlan. Friday was a different night for me. My usual partner was not with us, as you know, if you watch Game 1. Stan Fischler is in Israel, as his son, Simon, will be married tomorrow. Well, through modern technology, I guess a phone still can be considered modern technology. At any rate, Stan Fischler joins us from Israel for the pregame show. And Stan, it's good to hear from you. And how are things treating you in Israel?
Well, everything has been terrific, Matty. I can't tell you how delighted and at the same time amazed I am that we're able to speak this way. But it certainly is a pleasure, and of course we're having a great time getting ready for the wedding, which will be tomorrow. How much do you hear about the National Hockey League? Well, that's a terrific question, because I was very anxious to find out the Devils' score. I did catch a glimpse of the second game between the Flyers and Toronto, which was on television here late. And this morning we got two papers. One of them is the International Herald Tribune, which comes with an English language Israeli paper called Haaretz. And the other one was the Jerusalem Post. And my wife Shirley had picked up the papers, and she immediately told me when I got up that the Devils had won. So she had read the story in the Jerusalem Post. They had all of the games that day, including, of course, the Tampa, and they had the rest of the games. But they did have a nice little story about the Devils, and I only got a little bit of the flavor, nothing that really would tell me. I didn't have any idea how tough the game was. And then I turned to the International Herald Tribune, and there was nothing. There was absolutely nothing at all.
Well, then don't get that newspaper anymore. Forget about it.
I certainly will not. I was very, very disappointed, because I thought, they had a big story on some cockamamie stuff that had absolutely no importance. They had a big story on a bike race out of Paris, and here the playoffs, and they didn't even touch them, which was very disappointing. But the Jerusalem Post gave a real good spread to the playoffs.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about this game. Obviously, you're getting a little bit of giving us a little bit of a long-distance opinion. We've got about a minute here. The story up here in Boston is the fact that in their history, they've never come back from an 0-2 deficit. Which stunned me.
I don't buy any of that nonsense. That's all ancient history. I told you at the beginning of the series, I thought it was going to go 7 games. The Devils won their 2 at home, and now let's see how they can handle Boston at Fleet Center. But from what you told me, the second game was a very tough game. Mm-hmm. Well, it's going to be interesting to see. Number one, who the Bruins put in goal, whether Hackett is the guy and how well he plays. And number two, how the smaller guys on the Devils, who are so important, like, every one of them, got Jay Pandolfo, of course, and the entire checking line, and how Johnny Madden holds up against these guys. So I'm not changing. I don't change my prediction until when the series is over, it's right or wrong. But I don't think it's wise to count out Boston, not only because it's simply a 2-0 and the history, but the fact that they're now playing at home and they're going to be roundly applauded by their fans.
Well, there's no question the Fleet Center will be jumping today. Quickly, before we let you go, what's it like where you're at?
It's very mild. It was cool yesterday, and we went down to the Mediterranean. It was so windy that they have this thing they call, it's like it's almost like snowboarding in the water, but they use parachutes, these half parachutes, and they're able to fly off. It's kind of a surfing thing, but they got this mini parachute, and they're able to fly up in the air over the waves and back in the water. And it was just, it was wild to watch them, and it was very, very windy, but it was sunny. And today it's like a beautiful late spring day in the metropolitan area. I don't know what it's like up in Boston.
Nice day up here.
Just terrific. It couldn't have been better.
Well, Stan, it is good to hear your voice. Best of luck again to Simon and Danielle on their marriage tomorrow. We look forward to seeing you and Shirley and everyone back here in the metropolitan area real soon.
Well, Matty, send my best to everybody, and I can't wait to get back and see you guys after the wedding.
All right. The Maven joining us from Israel. He's on the banks of the Mediterranean. We're near the Charles, and when we come back on Devil's Game Night, I'll be joined by Chico Resch, so stay with us.